guys, it's like deja vu. I'm back on Mr. Coco. It was literally just the next day since my last vlog, which was obviously all about Sienna. I'm going to not make this vlog all about Sienna, but I will give you a very quick update on her. So as you'll know, when I finished the last vlog, I said that we had the vets coming out to see her, and we did lots of flexion tests and trot ups and lunging and really looked at the way she was moving. We chatted a lot about different issues, what could be going on and all that kind of thing, and it kind of came down to two options. We medicate her SIs, or we send her off to a much bigger kind of equine hospital where the facilities are better and she can have more tests and find out what's going on. And I've decided to go with medicating her SIs next, simply because I'm going to do some ducking here. Hang on a second. There we go. Simply because obviously if I send her off, it's going to cost a fortune. I think the SIs are a good call. I think due to some of the things she's done in the past, like getting cast, jumping the gate and stuff, I think she could well have upset her SIs a lot. So, and the vet agrees. So that's the next plan. We're going to give it a couple of weeks. So I just need to try and get a bit more weight off of her. Because obviously when you're medicating and putting steroid into horses, there's a higher chance of them getting laminitis. And, you know, she's quite a big girl. I don't need that on top of all that's going on. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of weight off her. I don't know how easy it's going to be. And then we're going to medicate her SIs and just, you know, see how we get on for the next month. So fingers crossed it works. Otherwise, if it doesn't, a lot more tests and investigations. But I feel better now we have a plan. That's all I need. I just like a plan. It doesn't have to happen straight away. I just like a plan. So that is what I've got. Anyway, I'm feeling incredibly tired. It's, as I said, Thursday. I'm feeling super, oh, there's quite a wind in the background, super sleepy because I was woken up just before 6 o'clock this morning by a sound of hounds. I don't know if they were parked out on the road or something, but there was a lot of noise of dogs barking or hounds barking. And yeah, I sort of woke bolt upright in bed and was like, oh my god, the hunter outside. Oh look, me and Coco come to our favourite place. Beautiful. Actually looks like we need a bit of rain down here. It's looking a bit lacking in water out on the lake. So pretty. So after hearing the hounds, I sort of jumped out of bed and thought, oh my god, I need to go and check the horses. Billy, who hunts anyway, was like, yeah, it's all cool with me. Sienna was pretty chilled. Corporal, at 23, was going round and round his pen like a Fruit Loop, like beside himself, even though he's never hunted in his life. So anyway, I sorted them all out and we started the day early, but it was all good. It was a beautiful start to the day. I've also got you'll all know it if you do, you know, ride horses for a living or you have quite a few horses. I rode a little pony this morning that needed quite a lot of work on the schooling front. Bless her, she just doesn't carry herself. She puts all her weight on you and she wants you to carry her. So I'm really working on getting her to like take a little bit of weight behind and have a bit of self-carriage. And had to do a bit of it in sitting trot simply because she's quite a strong pony and I couldn't keep her up together enough. So I was doing it in sitting trot. Well, anyway, it's not the nicest saddle on this pony. God, it's not the nicest. In fact, that's being polite. It's blinking horrible. It's a horrible saddle. It's so uncomfortable. It fits the pony, by the way. It perfectly fits the pony. It's been checked numerous times. But, to an adult's bottom, it is most uncomfortable. And I've rubbed my seat bone. And it's so sore. You know, then when you ride anything else, you're like, oh, yeah, that hurts. I have to stick a plaster on it or something. Honestly, it's so embarrassing, but it's very sore. Anyway, that's how my day's gone so far. But yes, let it continue with a ride through the woods with the lovely Mr. Coco. Morning guys, how are you? We are now on Sunday, and yes, once again I'm vlogging on the day that I need to edit and upload because hey, why change a habit of a lifetime? I don't think it's about to change. Very blustery out there today, most autumnal it's been in ages, and feels like something's brewing. I feel like we might be in for some rain later because it's definitely there's a feel out there to the weather. Anyway, I hope you're all having a very nice Sunday. I'm about to go and do some scattered poles with Sienna in the arena. I've backed off her rehab program a little, certainly not stopped it, but just going to make it a little easier again because obviously with her SIs needing to be medicated, I'm just not sure doing things like lateral work and lots of bending on the hill and stuff is very good for that right now. And I need to talk to my vet and just check what I can and can't do with her once they've been medicated. So for now, we're just going to do simple things like long reining, a few small raised poles, lots of hacking, just keep it a little easier for her until she gets her back done. And then obviously I can chat to my vet and work out what's the like next best step with her rehab program. But I'm pleased I've started and hopefully she is feeling stronger. So we'll hopefully, you know, be able to move through the next phase easier. We'll just have to play it by ear. Someone sounds like they're itching in the door. Oh, there she is. She's like, I'll open the door for you. I'll keep the light in. I'm sorry, I know, I need to hurry up. She's like, we should get on with it. But first up, no, I'd say last up actually. This is a short vlog, guys. Last up, I want to know, what's your equestrian gripe? What really gets your goat? Which, I can see you. I can see you. What really winds you up about the equestrian industry or equestrian people? Leave it in the comments below. I'm very interested to hear. Everyone's is very different, I find, what annoys people. Like, for my mum, dirty feed buckets. She can't stand it. Drives her insane. I know for some people, like dirty tack, they can't stand it. Mine, number one, let's see, I know she's playing with the tongue. Mine is not horses not having fresh water buckets. Really biggest bugbear. Because I hate it when people just top them up with the hose or just chuck another bucket in. And I'm like, they're still dirty. Like, there's all the sediment at the bottom. I'm like, the water's still dirty. It needs to be emptied and it needs to be fresh. Because you know how much horses love fresh water. Sienna especially adores fresh water, don't you? You love nothing better. Like, she can have a fresh bucket of water in a stable, but if you fill up a small bucket, like I would to carry over to the feed, she'll want the water from that bucket because it's the freshest. So yeah, drives me insane if I see dirty water buckets. Not cool. Had a very interesting job in Denmark when I was younger, and the man there owned this huge equestrian site, and generally speaking, hygiene levels there not great. Tack was never cleaned, saddle cloths were never washed, rugs were never washed, swapped around on different horses. They used to put stable rugs on top of sweaty horses, or horses that just weren't been washed down, and then they just put a stable rug on it, and I'd think, oh my god, like, not good at all. However, his one biggest bugbear was if horses had dirty tails. He couldn't care if the horse was dirty, the tack was dirty, that was not an issue, but the tails had to be spotless, and he'd actually send you out quite angrily out of the arena if he saw one speck of straw in your horse's tail. And I remember I got shouted at once because, you know, sometimes Corporal had a really big tail when he was younger, and sometimes bits just get hidden in there and you don't see. And also, we were always rushing around. And I remember I took him in there and I just got bellowed at and told to get out until I could brush the horse's tail. And I'm thinking, the rest of, you know, all the other horses were dirty everywhere else. It was just tails. It was really bizarre, very bizarre. My second one, you can put one or three in the comments. I'd be very interested to hear. The other one is people that don't warm up very well. It's mostly children, and I see it a lot when I'm teaching. Like, they come in and before a couple of minutes have gone past their cantering, and you're like, whoa, slow down there. And I know kids just don't understand, and I try to explain to them the importance of warming your pony or horse up properly, but they just want to get on with it, and they don't have the kind of the patience to like spend 10 minutes walking. But it is very frustrating because you know it's not good for the pony or the horse. And there they are, like, you turn around, they're already in canter. Before you know it, they're already going over poles. And you're like, stop. So that's a big bugbear. And probably finally, I mean, I've got lots of bugbears, haven't we all? But probably my final one would be, probably because I work in the industry being a freelancer, when owners are very like, you must do this, you must do that, which is fine, that's my job, you need to tell me, you know, the things you want me to do, not got a problem with that, but then they don't do it. It's that old saying, isn't it, like, do as I say, not as I do. Who knows if I've got that right, but I'm sure that is correct. Like, they'll always be like, you must do that, you know, for the horse. For example, horse needs an inhaler, and they'll be like, make sure you give X amount of puffs or whatever each time you're in. I'm like, okay, if I'm only in 3 or 4 times a week, they don't do it on the other days, and that really gets my goat, because I'm like, I'll check in with them, go, oh, were they all right to do it? And so on, they'll be like, oh, I forgot. And you're like, oh, okay. Happens a lot. I can't tell you. And it's really frustrating and really irritating, because they'll be so like with you, like, you must do that, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, got it, won't forget. But then they don't do it. That's a way to annoy me. So I reckon that the horses could also tell that the weather was brewing and that something was going on, maybe a change, because Sienna and Billy were beside themselves when I turned them out today. We had a lot of galloping, we had a lot of bucking and prancing and rearing, and Corporal obviously not. I mean, Corporal's very sensible. He just spends his time eating. In fact, he's very clever, because while Sienna's going around having a gallop and a buck, he's getting on eating the decent grass. So, you know, he doesn't miss a trick, that boy. But yeah, both Billy and Sienna pulling some fabulous shapes and getting rid of all this excess energy they seem to have. But they're having a great time. So anyway, I'm going to leave the vlog there. I know it's very short and sweet, and it's not been the most exciting. I'll keep planning for something better. Sorry. I am very intrigued to hear all your answers about what really, like, your biggest bugbear, though. I think it'll be interesting. So remember, put them in the comments below.